Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs land a big-time commitment today in four-star cornerback Daniel Harris out of Miami. This is a big deal for a lot of reasons, but if you've been on Dog Post, if you've been watching our videos, you saw this coming from a mile away, so I hope you told all your friends, hey, Georgia's gonna get this kid in July. He's one of the top cornerback prospects in Florida because Matt DeBerry on Dog Post told me about it weeks ago. So this is no surprise if you're on Dog Post, and this is a big get. This is a guy who was offered by Georgia in February. They were the biggest school to offer him at that point. And I wrote back then that Georgia was going to be tough to beat. He's a kid with length. He's 6'2", 175 pounds. That's just something you can't teach. He's got great speed. He's a track star, runs a 10.7 in the 100 meters. So when you have this type of length, you've got a great frame, and you can also run. The Georgia staff is going to come calling. New Georgia secondaries coach Fran Brown offered him back when he was at Rutgers. So these two have had a solid relationship for a while now. So when he did extend an offer to Harris back in February, I knew or had a strong feeling that Georgia was going to be tough to beat. And of course, today they landed his commitment over teams like Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State. I think at the end of the day, he said, why would I go up and play up north in the cold? I could play for the reigning champions in Athens, Georgia in the summer with the big dogs in the SEC. So he's not going to have crazy stats from last year, and that's a good thing because quarterbacks did not want to throw his way. He's a sound tackler. He's great in the run game. But when you could run like he can and you have the fundamentals, the technique, you know how to cover guys, you're going to be a wanted man. And he's a solid four-star cornerback. There's a lot to like about his game. He's not, some flashy five-star. Georgia already has that guy, and A.J. Harris, who committed last month. But he's the third Georgia cornerback on the commit list in the 23 class. They've got three of the best already. And, when you do produce defensive backs and cornerbacks like this Georgia staff is doing, putting guys in the first round of the NFL draft, you can go anywhere in the country you want. They don't have to just stay in the state of Georgia to get these kids. A.J. Harris is from the Carrollton area, technically plays in Alabama. They were able to land his commitment, and he is a five-star, one of the best in the country. They also have now Daniel Harris, a four-star from Miami, and then they have Justin Rhett out from Las Vegas. So when they have their eye on a guy, they go and they push hard. And more often than not, they're going to land a commitment from him, and that's what they did today. So he's ranked number 151 in the country, number 19 cornerback, and number 31 prospect in Florida. So the kid can play. He plays against great competition down in the South Florida area. Some of the best, talent in the country is down there. So if you can cover those talented, speedy receivers in South Florida, the transition should be a little easier, even in the SEC. Now, Georgia's stacked in the secondary. They've got a lot of young talent there, so it's not like I expect him to come into Athens in 23 and push for early playing time. He's going to have to sit and wait his turn, just like all the other talented cornerbacks have to do. So this upcoming year, you have Keely Ringo at one spot. Now, the other cornerback position is up for grabs. That might be second-year player Nyland Green, second-year player Kamari Lassiter. There's a lot of guys pushing for that spot, and they signed two five-star cornerbacks in last year's 22 class. So these guys in 23, they know they're going to have to sit and wait their turn. They know they're not going to a program that offers early playing time, but they know they're going to be developed by some of the best, coaches in the country. And not only Fran Brown, but Kirby Smart works closely with in the secondary. He was a former safety himself, and Will Muschamp, who has, coaching experience for the last 20 years, was obviously a head coach at a number of different schools. He coaches the secondary as well. So you've got three guys working with you each and every day. You're going to get developed. And again, they turn former three-star Eric Stokes into a first-rounder. Tyson Campbell was a cornerback 2 years ago who almost slipped into the first round. He was early second. And Darian Kendrick was drafted last year. Lewis Seen, a safety, was drafted in the first round. So if you play in Georgia secondary, you're going to get noticed, and you're going to most likely play in the league. So for Daniel Harris, he turned down Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State to play for the Georgia Bulldogs and Fran Brown. And, when Kirby hired this guy, when Jamal Adai went to Miami, Fran Brown is a known recruiter, and that's why Kirby went out and got him. We'll see how he does developing and coaching these young guys who are uber talented, but make no mistake, he's a great recruiter, and when he has his eyes on someone, he's going to go out and get them. So he was a major factor in why A.J. Harris chose Georgia over Florida, almost committed to Florida multiple times, but Fran Brown was the biggest reason he committed to Georgia, and Daniel Harris is the same way. So he's had a relationship with Fran Brown before he even got to Georgia. They extended the offer, and I wrote back then, hey, Georgia is going to be tough to beat for this kid. And, I was right, and everyone else, again, you saw this coming as well. So not a big surprise, but I told you last week, July was going to be a big, big month for commitments, and all the scoops on Dog Post. We're ready for those commitments to drop, just like this one. So knew this one was coming, and there's going to be a lot more coming as well. So Georgia secondary is absolutely stacked, and Daniel Harris, again, brings more length, which is something you can't teach, and speed. You can either run or you can't. When you get to Georgia, you're going to get bigger and stronger. When you leave Athens, then the first day you get there, not a lot of guys get faster. So when you get to Georgia, you have to be able to run. And those are the type of guys that Georgia's recruiting. If you can't run and you don't have size, you're not going to play in Kirby Smart's secondary. And Daniel Harris checks both of those boxes. His brother was a big time recruit, signed with Texas A&M. His dad played college ball, so this is a guy who knows what he's doing. He grew up playing football, and he's really, really good at it. So big deal today as Georgia picks up a commitment from Daniel Harris, 4-star out of Gulliver Prep in Miami, Florida, one of the top rising cornerback prospects in the state of Florida, and now has committed to Georgia. So big deal. This gives Georgia, I think, 14 commitments in the 23 class, their third cornerback commitment. And of course, all the latest scoop on him is over on Dog Post. There's a big story over there, so make sure you check it out. But this is a big deal, and I do expect Georgia secondary to get better and better and better. There are guys on the roster who I think we're going to see a lot this upcoming fall who didn't play last year because, again, they had one of the best defenses and one of the most talented cornerback rosters in the country. But guys like Nyland Green, Kamari Lassiter, maybe Dalen Everett, a 5-star who flipped from Clemson to Georgia towards the end of the year last year. These guys are going to push for playing time, and I think they're going to really surprise some people. So even though they're bringing in some absolute dogs in this 23 class, especially at cornerback, not sure if a lot of these guys are really going to push for playing time early on, but I can definitely see a kid like Daniel Harris with his skill set being able to start at some point in his career, but it's going to be in a few years. But it all starts today as he is committed to Georgia over some powerful big-time programs in the Big Ten. I'm going to talk about that more in another video, but this video is all about Daniel Harris, Georgia's newest commitment in the 23 class, solid 4-star cornerback. So guys, thanks for watching this video. As always, stay tuned to the next one coming up right now, and I will see you over on Dog Post.